Hey everyone, it's Frankie with iThrifties.com. Hey, earlier I did a review of the TechLast X80 HD tablet, and I've gotten several questions about whether or not this device will run the full version of the Watchtower Library CD. And so I just kind of wanted to show you that yes, it does run that application or that software program, and kind of show you how you would go about installing that. And so let's get started with that review. So what we're going to do is take the 8-inch TechLast X80 HD. It's the same exact size as a iPad mini, and this particular device is a dual OS device, so it runs a full version of Android KitKat, which is version 4.4.4, and a full version of Windows 10 Home. And because it's able to run Windows 10 Home, it's able to run the Watchtower Library CD as well. And so how do you go about doing that? Well, let's see. So we're going to go ahead and turn on the tablet, and I'll show you the same boot process that I showed you in the earlier review. You notice how the little timer is timing down. If you touch the screen, it'll go away, and then you've got the option here to choose which OS you want to boot into. Now earlier in my review in the other video, I discussed how up here in the corner you can actually hit a check mark and decide which one you want the device to actually boot into all the time, because you can actually reboot using an icon from both OSs into the other OS if you want. So you can always get into here if you don't want to see this on startup. If you decide you use one or the other more, you could do away with this start menu if you just need to. Anyway, so because we're going to talk about the full version of Watchtower Library CD on this video, we're going to go ahead and go into Windows. So we'll just tap the icon and then choose OK. And you're going to notice a little animated circle icon, which is a Windows generated icon, and that right there shows that we're booting into Windows. That's how you can tell. This is running an actual Intel processor, Intel Atom, and so it's really pretty quick. You can rotate the screen both directions, and you just slide up. I'll go ahead and log in off camera. Alright, so the other question that I got was whether or not it would remember your desktop. As long as you use, if you're using Windows 10 on your home computer and Windows 10 on a laptop, as long as you log in with the same user credentials, you'll get the same wallpaper and the same system on this tablet as you would on your desktop, which is a nice feature of Windows 10. Okay, so you'll notice here on my desktop I've already got a Watchtower Library 2010 icon, or 2015 icon. So I've already installed the Watchtower Library 2015 CD on here. What I'll do is show you how that runs, and then I'll show you how to install it. So now you can, right now we're in desktop mode, and that works fine. I've installed the shortcut here. How you do that is over here on the left where you've got all apps. You'd scroll down to Watchtower Library 2015, and you would hold your finger on that, and you'll get a menu that will let you pin or unpin to start. So right now it only lets me unpin it because I've already pinned it, but that's how you put the shortcut on the tile set here. That way it works either way. If we were to switch over to tablet mode, and just have the icons, we could still get to that icon right here. And of course you can always hit the menu over here and scroll through your folder like you would get to from a normal start menu. You can still do that from tablet mode. So alright, so let's go ahead and we'll launch the Watchtower Library 2015 CD, show you how that runs. Now because this is an 8-inch tablet, it's pretty small, so the writing and stuff is pretty small, and your links over here are pretty small. So although it can be used just fine with the touch screen, if you're really going to use it a lot, I would recommend hooking up a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse and using it that way. But let's just go ahead and demonstrate something. So like if we wanted to go into, let's say, a Watchtower. So we'll click Watchtower and then double click that. Let's go into 2005 and the April 1st. Notice you have to be pretty deliberate. Just be careful where you're pushing because it's hard to see. We're going to go to our children. And there's the article. Now we can do things on here that just like we could do on a computer. So say for instance I wanted to select this article. I don't want to print it, but if I wanted to select all and then I wanted to copy it, then I could come down here pull up Notepad, and then I could paste that information right there in the Notepad. So swipe in from the right, I can go back to where we were at. Back to the right here, go back to my Notepad. So yeah, you can multitask, and you can use the library just like you would use the library on your regular computer, and everything's there. It's the exact same thing. So basically, yes, that's how you use it, and it works fine on this tablet. Now, how did I install it? Well, what I did is we're going to go ahead and just uninstall, and I'll show you the process. So we're going to go back to regular desktop mode, and we'll go into all settings. We'll go to system, which is where we'll get to our apps and features. We're going to scroll down to Watchtower Library, and we'll uninstall it. Yes, we're sure. So now it's gone. So now our next thing that we need to do, now let's get out of here, is we're going to connect in. So we've got a micro USB port here on the tablet, and it comes with a micro USB to a full-size USB dongle. So what we're going to do is go ahead and plug our adapter in, and then I've got a 256 gig thumb drive that I use for keeping all of my important things on, and I've actually copied the Watchtower, the 2015 Watchtower CD to a folder, and then I put that folder on my drive here. So we're going to put that in. And then here on our system, I'm going to go to the folder here at the bottom, which basically browses my computer, and I'm going to go to my USB drive, and under my USB drive I have apps. Under apps I have the 2015 Watchtower library, and then there's a setup. Asks me if I want to install it. I say yes. Next. I agree. Now it's going to want to put it on C, and you don't have really a lot of room on your 32 gigs, and so I wouldn't install it there. I would make sure that you have a micro SD card in your machine, and make sure you copy it to that drive letter. Now over here, my drive, let's see, let's go to this computer. You can see that I have just under a gig free on my C drive, and so you don't want to install stuff on there. But I have my 32 gig micro SD card in there, and so that's where I want to install it, and it's drive E. And so we'll swipe in and go back to our installation. We want to make sure this is drive E. So now it's going to install it on drive E and put it under that program, that folder. And I'd like to put the data on there so I don't have to worry about having this other file. So we'll go ahead and hit install. Go back to that and watch that. Now, you might be wondering, well, I don't know how to put those files on a USB drive. Well, I'm going to show you that part too. If you keep watching later in the video, I'll show you how to accomplish that. So as you can see, just the fact that you have Windows 10 on your tablet gives you really some nice, opportunities that you wouldn't normally have on a iPad or an Android device. And so, and it still runs everything else that you really need to run. Because of the Microsoft Store, you can get JW Library, which runs just like it does on an iPad or an Android tablet. And so you can really do everything you need inside a Windows 10 environment. And this is a real small laptop. It's the same size as an iPad mini. And if money isn't an issue, I'll be doing another review on one just like this one. That's the 10-inch, and it's got a little higher specs. It's got 4 gigs of RAM, and it's got a 64 gig built-in storage drive, and all the other same features. So it's just more money, and this one here is kind of, really the ideal area to be at if you're worried about watching your funds, you're worried about size, but yet you still want the flexibility of being able to run the full Watchtower library and still do all the other stuff. So you do have a couple of options, and you can visit my website, www.iThrifties.com. That's iThrifties.com, iThrifties with an IES.com. And I've got, I think, 4 tablets I recommend on the website. It's just a shopping website where you can, add it to a cart and purchase it through PayPal. But I've got this one, and I've got the larger version of this one with little better stats. And then there's another tablet with Windows 10 that comes with a keyboard. It looks more like a laptop, but yet it does disconnect, and you can use it as a tablet. And then there's another one that's kind of got more beefier specs. It's also got full-size USB 3.0 and full-size USB 2.0 ports on it. They just a little bit more money, but way cheaper than your name brand stuff. And these are items that I've owned and I've tested, so I recommend them. And that's what makes it nice. I've already done all of the testing and the legwork for you, and I've found the devices that I feel are worth owning. Alright, so now we're done installing. We'll just finish. Now you notice over here we've used a little bit of space on there. That's because of the library. And I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this. And you should see that drive go away. So now if we go ahead and close out of this and go back to our desktop, we should have our full version of Watchtower Library 2015. That's a fresh install. I want to do updates automatically. And there we are again. We've got the Watchtower Library CD installed on our tablet. That's the size, of a iPad mini. And really, really nice feature to have. So give me a few minutes, I'll get set up and I'll show you how to take the files from the CD and get those onto a USB drive like I had, and then you'll be able to do this yourself. Now I also will make that zip file available through one of my other websites, through Meekspace.com. You can always hit me up there, and I'll help you get the file if you can't do this process yourself. So anyway, give me a few minutes, I'll come back and show you that process. Alright, so we're back with the second part of our video showing you how to get the files from the CD to a thumb drive. So basically what we'll do is we put the Watchtower Library CD in the CD drive, and then you open it. Now I have the 2011 version in here, but they're all exactly the same. I just couldn't find my other CD. I think I loaned it to another brother. Anyway, so you'll put the CD in your CD drive, and then you'll open that drive up so you can see the files. There should be a couple of folders and then some files here. What I would do next is on your desktop, just right click and go and make a new folder. We'll call this WTLIB 2000 and we'll say it's 15. Okay, then we'll open that folder up. And on this system, we're going to go ahead and we're going to select everything. So you can click on the first folder and then just hold your shift key down and highlight everything. This INI file we don't need. And then you can right click and copy it. And then you go over to the folder you created and right click and paste it. Now you can speed this process up if you go ahead and put your USB thumb drive in your computer and then you make this folder on the thumb drive. Then this process will just be a one-time process. But the reason I'm doing this is to show you how to do it where you could have this saved on your computer someplace, so you could actually upload it to a share someplace if you needed to access it some other way, or you could have it ready to give to another friend that needs to have access to it. This would, put it there where you've got it. So while that is copying, I'll take you over here to the iThrifties website. So iThrifties.com, iThrifties.com. So here at iThrifties, basically my idea behind this shop that I set up was to provide a way of getting a few devices that I myself have ordered in and tested, and I've tried several, and several of them weren't worth even mentioning. But the ones that I've found that work just fine for doing what we need to do, I've listed here on this website for sale. And I've marked the prices up a little bit, but the advantage you have getting them from me is I've already ordered them. I've put in the wait time getting them from China. I've opened them up, checked them, make sure there was no damage and that they function properly. And so then when I'm shipping them, you're getting them shipped from the United States to you rather than waiting all that time. And you can be sure when you get it that it's been tested. And so that's the advantage. And plus, if it's not on here, then I don't recommend it. It hasn't been tested as to whether or not it's a good product or not. But if it's on here, I've actually had them and tested them. And aside from just getting a DOA or just a flat-out defective device, you should be fine if you decided to order these on your own somewhere. But at least with me, if I get a DOA or I get one that's defective, I send it back in and I get it replaced. And so I would not be sending one of those to you. The only way you would get a bad one from me is if it was damaged in shipping or something. So anyway, that's just the spill there. But here right now, all I'm recommending right now are a few smartwatches that work with Android and iOS system, and then a few tablets. So the two TechGlass tablets, let's just go back here and make sure our copying is still happening. Yep. So the two TechGlass tablets that I recommend, one's an 8-inch, and this is the one that was at the front of this video we were talking about, and then the big brother to that is the 10-inch. A couple of differences between the two. The 10-inch comes with the newest, well, not the newest now, there's actually 6.0 version out, but it comes with Android 5.1 Lollipop and then Windows 10 Home. And there's quite a price difference. 125 versus 240, but this particular tablet, you're getting 4 gigs of RAM and you're getting 64 gigs of storage, and then it's got all the same options. It's got the micro SD slot to expand the memory. It's got the HDMI port to connect it to a TV or a monitor, and a keyboard and mouse. It's got Bluetooth 4.0. This screen that it's using is a Retina screen, just like the exact screen that is being used on the new iPads. Um, it's a definitely a much more robust system. This could be used. You could hook up a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse and a monitor, and you could use this as your desktop, and it would be just fine. And so those are the two differences. If you want something small that you're just going to do some minor Windows-based stuff, this would be the most inexpensive way to go. This one is going to give you more power, more functionality, if that's something that you want. Now, other than TechGlass, I do have a couple of other tablets that I recommend. The iRulu, the reason I like it is for $185 you can get the Windows 10 tablet and the keyboard. And okay, there we go. So we finished up copying. I'll come back to this in a minute. So you get the Windows 10 tablet. Now this is not a dual boot. It's just Windows 10 Home, and it comes with a keyboard. And I really like the keyboard. It snaps in to this connector here, and it gives you more of an actual laptop feel to it. And it's a pretty good build quality. And this particular one, let me just open that up and give you the stats on this one. So this one is a 2 gig like the 8-inch tablet, and it's got the 32 gig storage. It does have the expansion to upgrade it if you want to, and with a micro SD card. And it's really pretty much the same tablet as that 8-inch TechGlass, except for you get a keyboard. And so if you needed a keyboard, you wanted something that was more like a laptop but still gave you the tablet feel, and you didn't feel like you needed Android, then this would be the one I would recommend. And finally, the one that's pretty much more of a powerhouse tablet is this Chewy HI10, and it's $225. It doesn't come with a keyboard. However, there is a nice keyboard that works the same way as that other one. There is a keyboard option. I think this keyboard's around $85, and so you can get a keyboard for it. But this particular one is kind of a higher, I would say it's a higher end model because of the functionality that it gives you. If we click here on a picture, you see it's got it's got 2 full-size USB ports built into it, and one of them is a 3.0. One's a 2.0. And then you still have all of the expandability, the micro SD slot. You've got the micro USB for charging and for hooking. You could hook a dongle up and hook up devices to this. You've got your HDMI and then your port for your headphones. But the specs on it are pretty nice. It's got the quad-core processor. The screen is a 1920 by 1200. It's got 4 gigs of RAM, and it's got the 64 gig storage. So it's a pretty nice tablet, and the ports are what really add to the value of this tablet. Again, it's more money, but those are your choices. So that was just a rundown of iThrifties and what we're doing there. Let's go back to our explanation here of so what we did is we put the CD in our drive, we selected everything, and then we copied them over here to a folder that's on our desktop that we created. Now what we could do is we could take this folder and we could right click and copy it. Then we could go to our thumb drive and we could paste that folder right to our thumb drive. And so now, when we take this thumb drive and plug it into our tablet like we showed at the very beginning of this video, we can go into this WT Live 2015 folder and we can execute the setup folder, the setup file. and it'll actually install the library right there on your device for you. And then, the other thing you can do with this folder, or what I've done, is I've right-clicked and I've zipped it, and then I just store it on my computer, or I uploaded it to my Box account, and then it's there in case you need to share it with a friend or family member that has the CD that wants to do what you're doing but doesn't know how to do this process. You could help them out by providing that to them. Of course, you want to make sure they already own the CD. That way you're not worried about any copyright issues. They already own the CD. All you're giving them is something they've already got. You're just helping them get it in a different format so that they can utilize it on their other devices. So we'll just let this finish up, and then we'll conclude this video here. Not sure why it's asking me to do that, but we'll just say yes. Do this for everything. Now if we open up that folder, we could compare it. The other thing I like to tell the friends to do is compare the folder and just make sure. So you've got 2 folders here, and you've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 files. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 files. So we should have an exact copy here as we do here. And now we're good to go. It's on our thumb drive. We just plug it in and follow those steps that were outlined in the first part of this video, and you're good to go. Now, like I said, if you feel like you can't do this process, you can contact me through MeekSpace, and I'll help you get the files so you can follow this step. So anyway, thank you for watching this video on the TechLast X80 HD and how to get the Watchtower Library CD installed on it. And look for future tutorials of mine. Thanks for watching.